Hey everyone, in this video I would like to share with you a kind of maybe a quicker way to do your exploratory data analysis. I personally feel is kind of clumsy and we may not use it much while we're at ModSim. However, it might be something that you'd like to use with your students back at school. So I'm going to go to my favorite data site, the data sets and links for the Introduction to Statistical Investigations. And I'm going to use the AP data in Chapter 2 for the drive-through. And these are times spent in a drive-through in seconds. And I'm going to collect this data, just the quantitative data. And I'm going to not capture the time. Copy that. And then I'll go back to my GeoGebra Classic, and then I'll click in the spreadsheet, and then I will paste that data. Now I will, again, clicking in the spreadsheet, and I'm going to click on the header for column A, and I'm going to click on this button here now. And I'm going to use the one variable analysis. And there we go. So there's the spreadsheet. And there's a histogram of our times. There's a number of different graphs that we could use. Of course, a bar chart would make no sense in this situation because a bar chart is for categorical data. I could include a box plot. And it is interesting how this data, the box plot looks kind of skewed. That one tail is longer. I could create a dot plot. Again, I don't like the dot plot here. I think there's some flexibility that we have doing it in the regular app other than in this little tool here. A stem and leaf plot is nice, so I can kind of back it off if you'd like. So this is a 31 and 34 and 45 and 47, or I could go in the 30s and the hundreds and the 200s. And the normal quantile plot. So it's very possible that this data could have come from a normal distribution, but let's go back to the histogram. So in my histogram, I can change the bin widths. And if I'd like to, if I want to show my histogram, let me set a bin width like that. If I click on this little icon here, now I can have two graphs stacked one on top of the other. Let me go and hide that again. If I click on this Sum of X button, this shows me all of the exploratory statistics that I would need. It shows me the mean of my data set, the population standard deviation, and the sample standard deviation. It also shows these last 5 numbers, my 5-number summary. And it is possible to do some hypothesis tests or some confidence intervals. So if I'm doing something with an AP Stats class, I could do those inference procedures here. And if I if I click on this little button here, let me hide that one. And let me click on that. This is my data column. And maybe I'd like to kind of get rid of the 226 that was here. So I can check that, and I could do the data analysis with that extreme value removed. So this is a slightly different way to kind of get at the data analysis. There is far less flexibility, but there's a little more power. And I think at ModSim next week, we are going to want to that additional flexibility, if you will, because we'd like to do more stuff with our analysis. But this kind of gets at just the things that you would need, and it may be something you'd like to use with your students.